Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell, something a little different going on. I am here with my good friend, Justin Lynch, also known as B-Hawks Memes. He has his own channel. And so if you're watching this video from my audience and you don't know who this is, and if you're watching this video from his audience and you don't know who I am, Justin and I did a podcast last year covering the Chicago Blackhawks called Chicago Hockey Radio. So we've done this for a while together. We kind of hopped on the phone before this and talked about, oh, what should we do? And I don't think either of us prepared much because we've both done this together for hundreds of hours on the internet. So Justin, how are you doing, bro?
Excellent, man. This is like throwback day today. This is a vintage setup. Like the boys are back in town. The connection is back. The Kane Panarin connection is back cooking. So looking forward to this very much. Don't think we had to do much prep work, man. It'll just be seamless. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. This is going to be kind of like a pod style episode here. We haven't talked about this team very much in a while, so there are a lot of things I'm really curious about. I want to get your perspective on, ask you, just like, dude, I've been arguing with Blackhawks. It's so weird. I don't know if you have had this experience too. I'm going to be asking questions about the meme page as well. I have been fighting with Blackhawks fans on social media as of late more than I've been fighting with like any other fan base, more than Sharks fans, more than Montreal Canadiens fans. Yeah. Have you had has that been happening with you, or is that just a me problem? Can I just like not help myself but argue with people?
Yeah, I would say more of the meme page. Like it's very bipolar, where it's like you definitely have two segments of the fan base, where it's like you have the Kyle Davidson Glazers, where everything KD does is brilliant, right? A work of God, a work of art. But then you have those kind of old head nostalgia dynasty people, like the people back there that just can't seem to get over the good old days, that like don't really seem to understand the concept of a rebuild and how it works. So there's been a lot of butting heads there, where it's like those people were pretty quiet the first 2 months of the season, and they kind of came out of hibernation last month after we lost Bedard and Nazar, and now we're playing a lot better without those two, and suddenly they're kind of quiet again. So, but yeah, I've definitely noticed a bit of that for sure.
It's just like I've noticed such a split in the fan base of like expectations and what people want, the way they view the team, the way they view the general manager. It's so weird. Like if you didn't actually watch the games at all and you just like listen to the fans on Twitter, Instagram alike, you would have such a different perspective of like what's actually happening with the team and in the organization. And it's just kind of wrecked my brain a little bit. And so I guess the first question I want to ask you, and this might be a tough one because like I decided right before we did this was going to be the first thing I was going to ask you. And I thought to myself, I don't know necessarily what my answer is, but would you prefer the Chicago Blackhawks to make the playoffs this year or get a top 3 pick in the draft?
Oh man. Oh man. That's hard, man. Well,
and we can talk through this. You can think out loud. Like you don't have to give me a definitive,
If it's top 3, it's got to be 1, 2. It's got to be either McKenna or Stenberg. I'm sure the 3 got to be good too, whether it's Veerhoff or whoever it is. But like Bjork. But like I'm assuming by top 3 you mean McKenna or Stenberg. So yeah, in that case, I mean it's hard to pass that up because let's be honest. Like if this Blackhawks team makes the playoffs, I think it's probably going to be a pretty quick exit. Like, I don't know, like maybe they could pull off an upset. I don't know. You never know. Crazier things have happened, but it's like you're probably going to play one of those top 3 giants of the Wild, the Avalanche, and the Stars. So I just don't really see us getting past either of those guys. So, but that being said, I think just the experience of getting back in the playoffs for the first time in 9 years, 6 if you include that bubble series, first time of this Blackhawks Bedard era, like I think that would definitely provide a lot of lessons, a lot of valuable lessons, and it would just be nice to get back in the playoffs, right? But I think we're gonna have plenty of time for that. I think we're gonna have plenty of time for that. I don't think any of us really expected to even be talking about that going into this season. Again, like I think we've already halfway through the season, I think we've already surpassed expectations. So it's like even just be in the mix, even if this even be a question, I think speaks volumes. I think, we should be pretty happy about where we're at. But that was a Kyle Davidson way of answering the question. I didn't really answer the question.
Yeah, that was a politician's response right there.
I don't know. Like, I guess if I had to pick one, it's man, I'm sick of tanking. Like,
I know. That's the thing.
We're at year 4 of this shit, so like I feel like I should say playoffs.
Yeah.
But man, it's hard to pass up McKenna or Stenberg. So
yeah,
I guess.
Dude,
I don't know.
Dude, I think that I think in a vacuum, it's undeniable that adding Gavin McKenna or Ivar Stenberg to this prospect group that's undeniably better for the future of this team and in this organization. But the reality is what you just said, like they've been tanking. They've been bottom of the league for the past 3-4 seasons. Yeah. And at some point you do need to make that step. You do need to start moving forward, or else, a team that the Blackhawks fans who have criticized Ben Pope and criticized this rebuild often like to bring up is, of course, the Buffalo Sabres. You obviously don't want a situation like that developing. And yeah, like a playoff push in a even if it's just a quick series against the Avs, I think that would be extremely valuable to this young group who, in my opinion, will be actually ready to go next year. I think this team's going to make noise next year. I've said that. I've been pretty consistent on that all season long. I think that experience would be super valuable, but it is hard to deny. Damn, you add Stenberg to this group or Gavin McKenna to this group, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it might be a moot point. Sorry to cut you off. I think it might be a moot point anyway, because the fact of the matter is, I look at the standings right now, and we're 2 points out of a playoff spot without our top 2 centers, Bedard and Azar. So it's like, when we get those 2 back, I think we're kind of going to be too good to be kind of in that tank race anyway. Yep. Unless they pull an Islanders and we get the first pick with the 10 slot, which I think Bettman, and you never know. I mean, crazy things have happened, but yeah.
I don't think Gary would mind, having the Swedish link up on the Blackhawks, one of the big, or the cousin duo in Bedard McKenna. I don't think Gary would mind that too much. We'll see. I agree with you. I agree with you on that point. And that's what I've been saying to my audience is like, and I recently tweeted something out like, what are all the GMKD haters like up to now? Like, what do you guys have to say about this rebuild now that this team's 2 points, as you just mentioned, a couple points out of a playoff spot, missing their 2 most important forwards? Like, what do you guys have to say now? And then the narrative shifts, and it's like, oh no, it'd be better for them to like finish in the bottom and get one of those guys. And it's like, that's not going to happen. Like when Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar get back in this lineup, this is not a team that is going to be in the bottom 3 of the league. It's just not. It's not going to be in the bottom 3 of the Western Conference because look, there are some wagons at the top of the Western Conference. You've got some wagons up there, but everyone else from the wild card down to the bottom is terrible, Justin. They're all bad.
The standings are just crazy to look at right now, man. I mean, Ryan Green's our top line center right now. We're in the playoff race. Like, what is going on here? And we're barely 500. It's crazy. You look at the East, like the East is just the parity in the East is insane. And the West, you have 3 great teams and everyone else is just mid. It is battle of mids. So, I mean, look at the Pacific Division. Like, I think Vegas leads. They have 46 points? Like, we're 5 points away from that. Like, that's insane, dude. So, yeah, it's been a weird season, a weird year for the NHL. But I think a lot of that speaks to the fact that it's an Olympic year too, condensed schedule. It kind of, throws things up for grabs, kind of one of those years, a wild card year. But that's something to be said too, where it's like, I think the prospects for a good season, especially down the stretch to end the year, post-Olympic break, because the Blackhawks have one guy there, Teuvo Teravainen. They have one Olympic representative. The rest of this team, like, we're going to be so well rested, man. Like, that's one positive Bedard not going to the Olympics, man. It's like that guy is going to be so well rested. He's going to be fired up. He's going to be motivated. And, like, I think we have all the opportunity to cook in the second half of the year. And I think all the guys we're going to get, towards like late March, early April, we always get that batch of prospects. Think about, Frondell is going to be on the team, probably. Kancherov's probably going to be here. So I think, end of the year, I think. A lot to play for second half of the year.
That's a great point, and that's what I've been screaming about from the rooftops. Because like Connor McDavid himself last year talked about how hard it was to get going after the Four Nations break, that fatigue. And the Four Nations was just 4 games, Justin. The Olympics is a much more important tournament. It will be less physical, yes, but it's going to be a longer, more important tournament. Guys are playing the most important hockey of their lives. Meanwhile, the entire Blackhawks roster is probably staying on the ice, keeping the legs moving, but they're able to rest. They're all those nagging injuries that guys deal with throughout the season. The Blackhawks just aren't going to be experiencing that after the Olympic break. And it's not like it's some short stretch of like 10 games after the Olympics. The Chicago Blackhawks play 25 games after the Olympic break. I just like, it's gotten to a point, and this is crazy because I know that the Blackhawks fan base as a whole does not express the same view. I don't see how this team doesn't make it into the playoffs. Like the way that they have played as of late, all the guys on the team around Bedard and Nazar have had to step up. They've had to develop, especially the younger guys. They've had to step up, play bigger roles, play different roles, and I think they're all going to be better for it. What happens, the way Tyler Bertuzzi and Andre Burakovsky are playing together right now, what happens when you throw Bedard in between them instead of Ryan Green, Justin?
I mean, every game with Ryan Green, this guy, I'm thinking, man, if Bedard's there, like that goes in every single time.
Every time.
So infuriating to watch, man. Like God bless Ryan Green, right?
Yeah.
Like all Swedish no finish, man.
Not much finish in this game.
But yeah, like Bedard, man, like he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder, man. He's gonna have absolute chip on his shoulder. Like I love his quotes. Like I think he just has the right mentality where it's like, hey, gotta look in the mirror. What can I do better? I don't really think there is much more he could do. Like I don't think it's his fault that he's not on the Olympic team. I think there's a bit of, I want to say politics at play there, but you look at their GM, Doug Armstrong, Blues, and then their coach John Cooper. He's got to have his Lightning players there. So like objectively, Bedard should be there, but he isn't. But hey, what did Michael Jordan do? He took it personally. I think Bedard's going to take it personally, and he's going to go on an absolute tear. I love what you said. I agree with your tweet. Like, I think he's going to be probably, he's going to be amongst the best players in the show when he comes back for the rest of the year. Yeah.
And the quotes that Justin just alluded to, I just pulled them up here from Ben Pope. Bedard said, "I'm feeling good, and hopefully pretty soon I can get back out there. When you don't meet one of your goals," talking about not making it to the Olympic team, the only thing to do is look in the mirror and see where you can get better. Which it's like, Justin, could he have said anything better than that? Like, no, that's
the Crosby answer right there.
That gets me salivating as a Blackhawks fan. Like, he's coming back starving to be better. Justin, he was like 4th in the league in points before the injury.
19 goals, 25 assists, 44 points in 31 games. That's not good enough.
It's not good all enough. I needed. It's not good enough. Dude, yeah, and that was one of my points, was like, this really could be the best thing for the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, his injury, the Nazar injury, the Olympic snub, it's going to get much better for the Chicago Blackhawks really quickly. And so I guess a similar subject, but like a slight transition here. Something I also want to ask you about with the GM KD criticism, with the rebuild criticism. You and I did a fair bit of it last year on Chicago Hockey Radio. Yeah. We were not singing the praises of this guy the entire time. Like, there are clips of you and I on the internet
last year on the Winter Classic, your all-timer rant. Yeah.
Dude, but like we talk about this all the time on the show. Just like the team that got assembled last year was shocking. The vets that got brought in, it didn't work. And then on top of that, all the prospects were a year further away. You just couldn't really see the light at the end of the tunnel. It wasn't making sense. There were questionable draft pick selections, like Arty over Demidov. Is this something that should have happened? But as time has played out, as the season's gone on, Justin, I'm seeing it. I see it now. I see the rebuild. I see that the team that Kyle Davidson is building is a team built around their superstar, Connor Bedard. And it's not just Connor Bedard step up and play this year. It's like, no. You see all these young defensemen that are under the age of 24 years old starting to really make their imprint on the NHL. They're big, they're fast, they're mobile, they can skate out of pressure, they can move the puck well. You make that trade for Spencer Knight, you've got a true bona fide number one goaltender. And then the forward group has been obviously Kyle Davidson drafted this team. He started in the back and has worked his way up. So we see the defensemen already because that's who we picked first, Justin. And now we're starting to see the forwards this year, but we're still waiting on like 50% of the talent. And so, Justin, when these people criticize the rebuild, I feel like I'm losing my mind because I see it.
Yeah, no, I understand it, man. I understand it. It's like, that's the thing. Like, there's still so much more to look forward to here. Like, if you're watching the World Juniors, like, which I guarantee those people aren't watching the World Juniors, but look at the way Frundell is absolutely dominating for Team Sweden, man. Like, that guy just makes all the perfect plays, no mistakes. Like, I watched that guy play, and I'm like, that's Bedard's Drysdale. That's Bedard's Drysdale. Look at what Bedard's done. He hasn't had an elite player to play with on his wing yet. Imagine what he's going to do when he has a guy like Frundell here, a line mate that's actually close to his caliber of skill, which I was screaming that last year. Bedard is having an off year. It's like, oh yeah, he's playing with 20 different mid-line combinations.
Yeah.
But this year, it's pretty much virtually, a similar team, and he's raised his play already, which shows you like the generation of players, they elevate the guys around them, right? They don't need to be elevated, but it's like, man, like that's just another reason why I'm pissed off he didn't get a chance in the Olympics. I would love to see what he could do with guys like McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, etc. But it is what it is there. But I think there's just a lot to look forward to there. Like, imagine what he could do with the Frundells and the Lardises and the like. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun to watch. Yeah,
it's a great point. It's almost scary to think about, like seeing the way he played, the production he had through the first 30 some odd games of the season this year. He's not going to not play with an elite player forever. What happens to Bedard's production? 125 points is going to be his benchmark. If he's below 125 points in a year, it's like, what's up with Bedard? That's how I feel.
I think he was producing around 120 point base like this season already. It's like, so yeah, what's he gonna do? Like, oh my goodness, man, like, it's gonna be something else to watch.
It's an exciting thought. I guess let's transition and talk a little World Juniors. It was nice to see a final, a Nestrasil Frundell final. Two forward prospects that are bigger bodies, that play a more physical style of game, that are defensively responsible. What are you excited for? I guess not just with those two, but in the prospect pool in general right now, what are some guys that are getting you excited, and where do you see them playing, I guess, maybe in a year or two in the near future for the Blackhawks?
Well, one guy that really impressed me in the World Juniors, like, I wasn't expecting this performance. Maybe I should have been. But like, AJ Spellacy, man, like, that guy's an absolute dog. Like, he's a guy that, like, I don't know, like, if he's gonna actually be on this team. Like, I don't know if he's gonna be a core player, but it's like, man, if he's like the perfect like energy fourth line player if he can translate to the show, because he's fast, he's physical, like he's a beast out there. So he could be like, I don't know, Andrew Shaw and Timu maybe. Like, that'd be nice. I mean, Frundell is the obvious one, right? I mean, very interested to see like what they do with him. Like, is he center? Is he wing? Like, I imagine they probably want to split up him and Bedard, right? And maybe they move Nazar up there on the wing, and then Frundell is in the second line. And it'd be nice if they could have Stenberg there with him. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, I think Frundell is probably your perfect number two center. Great two-way player, great on both sides of the puck. Doesn't make a ton of mistakes out there, just makes all the right plays. So yeah, I think Frundell, second line center, works out well. I think Roman Katsarov is definitely the X factor, man. Like, if his game could translate to North America, man, I think what he's been doing the KHL, I mean, he doesn't get talked enough, man. Like, 27 goals, 20 assists, 47 points in 39 games. He's number two in the entire league. He's 21 years old. I think his teammates the only guy in front of him. He's probably because he's cancer on merchant probably. But yeah, like I can only imagine what he's going to do. Like, I'm not saying he's the next Kirill Kaprizov or anything.
Yeah.
We haven't seen production at that age since Kirill Kaprizov. He's producing a rate that was better than Demidov last year. So I think Katsarov is definitely a guy. He's a winger too. So maybe first, second line. We'll see what happens with him there. And yeah, all the defensemen down there at Rockford, right? Like, I think I'm still high on Rinzel, right? Like, didn't really have the season up here that we expected, but I think he's probably gonna be back in the roster at some point. I think he's been playing a lot better at Rockford. So like, when he gets back up here, his game should look a lot better, more like what we saw towards the end of last year for sure. Korchinski's the guy. He's the one guy where it's like, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know what's going to happen with Korchinski, man. Like, he probably shouldn't still be down there in Rockford right now. And frankly, all the defensemen up here, like Krevier's look good, Kaiser's look good. Like, I'm not really sure what happens with him, but we'll see. But Lardis, I've been happy with him. I don't think the stats tell the full story of him. Like, I think he's absolutely showing, no, his game is going to translate at the NHL level. very nicely. And he's been the god in the shootout, man. He's looked like Patrick Kane in the shootout. So Showtime himself. So I hope they keep him up here. I'd probably not like when Bedard comes back, he probably goes back to Rockford. But it'd be nice if they kept him up here just to see what he could do with Bedsy, because I think then his totals would really reflect the way he's been playing. Yeah.
I would love to see at least one game with Lardis on Bedard's wing. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if it happened, just because he has been utilized in a lesser role, just because they are still concerned about the two-way game. But I agree with you. Like he doesn't look like he's drowning when he's out there. He's been more than willing to engage in physical battles, finishing checks. Like those are the things that I'm paying attention to more than like the offensive output. Because look, we know that if you give Nick Lardis time and space, he can make things happen offensively. That's been his bread and butter. The question mark was all about the other stuff. And that's what he's shown through these first stretch of games that he's played with the Blackhawks. So when I see Nick Lardis, I see a really solid middle six depth scorer that I think, if you want to and play him up on a higher line with maybe like a Bedard, or you play him lower in the lineup, I think that's an option. And dude, I think that's kind of what you're getting with so many of these prospects in the system. Like when people say like they might not all pan out, these guys might not all be stars, and it's like, yeah, I get that, but they're all like, most of them are looking really good, and you have the availability to put guys in different spots with pretty much every single one of these guys, Justin. Like Anton Frundell and Roman Kanserov have both played center and the wing. I think Kanserov will end up being a wing. I think Kanserov is going to be a great complementary player. He's not a play driver, but he's a guy that if you put him on the wing, on a line with a guy who can carry the puck up the ice, who can transition the puck, he's a great scorer. He's a great goal scorer. He's got a fantastic shot. He is good and reliable in his own end. He plays PK time. I would love to see him with the Frank Nazar. And to be honest with you, to the Frundell thing, I see Frundell more as a winger, just because I think what you have in Bedard and Nazar are two guys that can drive play, that can carry the puck up the ice, that are going to be puck transporters. That's not really Frundell's game. And so for that reason, I just see him more as a winger, which isn't a bad thing, because we need good wingers. We need good wingers. You have so many center options. Oliver Moore plays the center position. Ryan Green plays the center position. Sasha Boisvert plays the center position. As I just mentioned, Roman Kanserov does too. And then you've got Bedard and Nazar still. So you've got so many options at the center position. I'm just not concerned about it the way some people pretend to be on social media, because it's like, you've got all these options. A couple of them are going to work out.
The Blackhawks have such a power play in the future, man. Like, especially watching the World Juniors. Frundell's shot, his slap shot. Oh my goodness, he's like Swedish Ovi. So you got the flanks of him and Bedard. And you get Nazar in there, man. Like, and oh man, Kanserov, Lardis has a 1T. Like, they just have so many options to work with in the special teams, and like that's a big part of the game today. It's like, if you could be a power play merchant, look at the Oilers, man. It's huge. If you have a big power play, Hawks, PK's been great already. Special teams, great even strength play, and you got a goaltender back there you can rely on. Like, that's really all you need. So, and not everybody's going to pan out. You just need enough of them to pan out. And the Hawks have such a large quantity of prospects. Or like, enough of them are going to pan out, you would think.
And that's the thing, is like, you don't need Nick Lardis to be a superstar. Like, you don't need 71 goal scorer Nick Lardis to score 50 goals a year. If he can chip in 20, 25 a year on the third line, that's value. You need that. You need guys in your middle and bottom six that can contribute offensively. You don't need all these guys to be, super polished first line talents. You need a couple. And I am really hoping that Anton Frundell can be that. But you don't need all these guys to be absolute dogs. You just need them to be good enough. You need them to be good enough, because the reality is, when you have someone in Connor Bedard as your 1C who is going to, put up probably the most top 3 in points over the next decade, like, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a player who's going to score more points than Connor Bedard over the next 12 years. You don't need a ton of guys to score crazy offense. You just need them to be good enough. You need them to be reliable enough. And in regards to the special teams, it's not even just that first power play unit. The second power play unit is going to have a ton of weapons on it. And then the PK is going to be fantastic. So many of these guys kill penalties. You bring up AJ Spelisi, he kills penalties. Vaclav Nestrasil, he kills penalties.
He was phenomenal. I didn't even bring him up in my World Juniors talk. He was fantastic for the
He's great. He was great offensively, defensively, playing mean, playing physical. It's like that's what this forward group is lacking, and that's what's coming in spades in the near future is size, is meanness, is two-way ability. You're getting that on the way. So when people freak out about this rebuild, I'm like, do you guys not see what's so clearly coming? It doesn't make sense to me. But like Ryan Green, Oliver Moore, Frank Nazar, these are more PK guys. These guys who are already killing penalties at a very high level in the NHL. This PK that the Blackhawks have is amongst the best in the league. It's not just Jason Dickinson and Ilya Mikheyev. Although they are big pieces of it, Ryan Green's killing penalties. Frank Nazar, when he was healthy, he was killing penalties. So is Oliver Moore. So you've got all these guys who do different jobs. And so I just feel like you have so much depth and you have so many different weapons and you've got different options. And so overall, if you were to give this rebuild a grade as of right now, obviously it's so early on. Obviously they haven't achieved anything. But from what you've seen this far from the players that have made it to the NHL and the players who are currently performing well in junior hockey, pro hockey, overseas, whatever it may be, what would be your grade out of 10?
Out of 10, 6 points. I'm just kidding. I had to get 167 joke in this video. That joke isn't funny anymore, is it? I don't think it's fun anymore, but it was funny.
You fucker saying that right when I hit my vape. I almost just coughed up along, you asshole.
Yeah, I would say, it seems like probably 3/4 of the prospects have translated pretty well to the show so far. Some of them need more time at Rockford. Doesn't mean they can't still translate in the future, right? And pretty much all the guys that haven't shown up so far, they're doing what you would expect in their respective leagues. So, and like this team, like I did not expect the Blackhawks to even be in the playoff conversation this year. It kind of feels like we're already a year ahead of schedule from that standpoint. So I was thinking this year it happened next year, and now I'm thinking next year, well, no, like playoffs are bust. So yeah, I would probably say, yeah, results-wise, we're not there yet, but I think potential-wise, I think potential is more important here. I would probably give it an 8. Yeah, an 8. I think that's fair.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there. If I was going to give it an uneven score, I would have said like 8.2, but I completely agree. Are there still a couple holes? Do you want to know you have another one or maybe two bona fide surefire top 6 players? Yes, but amongst the guys they have, I think you have 2, maybe 3 top 6 players in the pipeline. And so the things we already talked about, the blue line, the goaltending, those things feel figured out to me. Like, yes, development still needs to happen. Yes, those guys all need to get better as a unit and individually. But in my mind, without a doubt, you have the personnel on the blue line. They're close, man. They're close. I think they're closer than people let on. And I think that the way they're performing right now without their 2 best offensive weapons is just a testament to that. And you can say they're getting carried by Tyler Bertuzzi all you want, but it's just nonsense. It's a team game, and all these young players have stepped up. Specifically, and we don't have to make this an hour long. But one young player that I do want to get your thoughts on, especially the way he's performed as of late, is Artyom Levshunov. What's your assessment of him thus far this season and the development and the strides he's made in his game?
Artie Party. He's a wild card, man. He's an absolute wild card. He's so fun to watch. It's like there's some games where it's like, hell yeah, man. Like, I love this. Like, I was totally wrong about this guy. He's going to be him. He's going to be our number 1 defenseman. Like, and there are some games where it's like, what the hell is he doing out there? Like, he's definitely like, I would say he's kind of had exactly the season I expected. Like, it's kind of been a bit of a roller coaster with him, right? But I will say 2026, though, like, he's been phenomenal. Like, I would say the last few games especially, like, he's absolutely stepped up. Like, I think consistency is something to work on for him, but it's going to come with time, right? This is his first full season of the show. He's still so raw, right? Like, I think there's still such a long way to go in his game and his development. So the fact that he's already looking this good, 40-point pace, that's better than probably I would have expected. And yeah, the defensive game needs some work for sure, but I think his instincts are strong, right? I think, like, once he figures it out, when he's confident, man, like, he's going to be such a beast, such a driver back there. I think I like the way he's been quarterback in the power play as well. He needs to work on his shot a little bit, his shot placement. I don't think anybody's hit more posts and crossbars than this guy. I swear every single game is a post or crossbar. So he's edging that net man. But no, I like the way he's been playing. Right, definitely. A long way to go for sure. But I mean, would I still take Demidov? It's a tough one. I think the way Frondell's been looking, honestly, I feel pretty good about it at the moment. Honestly, I think Frondell's probably gonna be the better player anyway. So I think it's gonna work out, pretty fine in the long run. It's kind of unfair to him. He's always gonna be compared to Demidov, and maybe it's an unfair comparison. But I think, I think he's gonna be our guy. I think he's gonna be our guy back there, and he's just so fun, man. Like, I love his personality. He's definitely a vibes guy for sure, right off the ice for sure. And it seems like the guys love him, and I love his energy, man. He always gets so hyped up out there. I love his sellies, man. Just like you could tell that the boys and the coaches love him. You could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, I think that's a great point. And honestly, it's not just Artyom Levshunov. It's like, say what you will about this group, about this rebuild. One thing you can't deny is that it's fun hockey. The way the system at which Jeff Blashill has these guys playing with, it's fun. It's been fun to watch. It's not super defensive, dump and chase, boring ass hockey. It's like they're carrying the puck into the zone. They're trying to create offense in an aesthetically pleasing way. And so that's as much as I can ask for as a fan, especially given where they're at coming out of a rebuild right now. Look, man, I think we could do this for hours, but let's call this here unless you have anything else you need to get off your chest, because we're going to be doing these more. So do you have anything else you need to get out there?
My Shanghai Drag of the podcast is a Sam Lafferty. I'm wearing my Shanghai Dragon shirt. So.
He's got his Shanghai. I'm rocking the Blackhawks, our two favorite teams, the Shanghai Dragons and the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, maybe Sam Lafferty. Maybe there are a couple other guys that are in Rockford that are going to be some key pieces for the Shanghai Dragons moving forward. But none in the lineup right now, I'd say. None in the current lineup. I don't see any Shanghai Sharks in the current lineup, so that's a positive. Yeah, let's wrap this thing. As I mentioned, I think Justin and I are going to start doing these like longer form pods together more often. The collab feature on YouTube allows us to post them on both of our channels at the same time. And then I think we're going to start doing some post games together, because we've had a very similar experience of the post games just getting a little dry. I just straight up haven't been doing them a lot. So I feel
like a schizo talking to myself for 10, 20 minutes. Like I need Lee back, man. I need someone to do these with. Yeah.
I'm with you there. And I think our audience who watched us last year will probably be quite excited to hear that.
They've been calling for it, man. Yeah.
Dude, if you guys enjoyed this, please give us the feedback. Let us know in the comment section. Give us the like on this video. Subscribe to both of our channels. It should be an easy option under this video to subscribe to both of us. And so with that being said, thank you guys. Go Blackhawks, and Justin and I will be seeing you guys very soon.
Absolute cinema.